So is it true that your mother was cleaning toilets for $10 a week and that was your family's only source of food?
Yes, that was like when we had just immigrated and we're at the immigration center refugee camp.
Okay.
And there you could like do a job where you clean toilets, and she would make like $10 a week for that. And yeah, that was the money that we had. Which another thing happened, which was even crazier, because my oldest brother, he was disabled because of like the war. And because of that, we got government support that they gave like to refugees. And it was around $10,000 to $15,000. But like that was huge amount of money, especially like back in the day, you
Per
know.
month or per
No,
year?
that was like once you get that as like,
okay.
because you need medical support and all these things. And basically my mom had found out that my dad had taken that money that was supposed to be for my brother, and he had sent it back home so his mom could build a house for herself after the war, destroyed her house so she could build a house again. So my mom said like that was the first time that I looked at that man and I was like, I genuinely hate this person. And I'm never going to forgive him again. Because like we couldn't even afford food or basic necessities. And you have like 3 children by that time. And he just didn't care. He just sent it all. So we didn't have money.
Why do you think you said you're 5?
Yeah.
Why do you think your mom kept having children?
I think society and like how our culture is raised. I think it's like, it's very normal and it's like what her mother has done and they didn't know any better. I mean, they also never had an example of any woman that does anything outside of the norm. So you're just going to do what everyone else is doing, you know? You create a family, the man tells you he wants a child, so you listen to the man, like he's abusing you, but you're still going to stay because that's all you have ever seen. And then it takes one person to break that cycle for it to never repeat again. Because now you have an example of how things can be different.
صح. Is it true that your father would invite friends over to humiliate your mother because she wanted the job?
Yes. He would, so the first years, he wouldn't allow her to work. But we would get like government support and he wouldn't give it to her either, or like she had to beg for like $5 to buy bread, you know? And he basically liked the control that he had. And then whenever she was like, look, I really need a job, like I need to provide for my children, he would basically call his friends like, look at this dumbass, she wants a job, like blah, blah, like he would just laugh at her.
It's quite twisted. Like you don't have money. She wants to work and he doesn't allow her to work.
I think he enjoyed seeing her suffer. And I think there is a lot of men, unfortunately, that enjoy seeing women suffer. It's not even about anything other than that. Like they like that you're unhappy.
I think it's a very narcissistic trait and an egoistic trait.
Yeah.
You want the other person to be... Like narcissists are masters at it. Slowly they control you. Or slowly they make you insecure. Like, I don't like, blue jeans don't look good on you, for example. And you're like, oh, really? It actually looks good, but now he wants you to be insecure about because you're a good-looking person or whatever. And slowly, your ears and... And that's I'm talking about the subtle narcissist. There is more aggressive.
I wonder, because I used to always think, like, okay, does my dad fit into the archetype? But he was way more sadistic than that. I think narcissism is like one way, but then you have like actual sociopaths and that don't feel any type of empathy at all. But like on the flip side, outside, he was very loved and everyone, very charming man, you know, like, oh, religious man. Like everyone thought he was amazing. So that does fit in with the narcissist. But I heard somewhere that like sociopaths can have narcissism too, but not all narcissists are sociopaths.
Correct.
So like...
Yeah, I think narcissism is a spectrum.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have it, especially with selfies today. I think selfies make you more narcissistic, especially somebody who like their last 9 pictures on Instagram are all them alone. And I'm like, I know some people say, and that's no, you're judging. I think if it's always just you, I think there's a level of narcissism there.
Yeah.
Now, is it normal narcissism or unhealthy or healthy? I think we can argue that from what I've seen, I think humans have a spectrum of narcissism.
Yeah.
And at some point, it becomes harmful to people.
Yeah.
Before that, maybe somebody's just in love with themselves or insecure.
I think that's a misconception about narcissism.
I was just going to say
that.
Yeah, I don't think they're in love with them. I think they're insecure.
Yeah, because that's a misconception. That because people think like, oh, people that are narcissistic are just in love with themselves or things like that, you know? But actually, like, they're severely insecure individuals. And it is a mental illness. Like, they don't operate like how normal people operate. Like, they scheme and they plot things. And for example, how I've seen people that I diagnosed narcissism, I've seen, is they'll think like, okay, today I'm going to act like a good partner. Today I'm going to act like a good father. That's how they think. But everything is an act.
Wow.
So nothing is really because they want to do it. And also how exhausting it is to live like that. You have to constantly just perform, you know? Like, for example, I had this instance with this person and their grandma came to visit, for example. And when she came to visit, they were like, I want her, it's like their grandma, you know? And then they're like, I want her to just take a hotel and not stay at my house. And I was like, are you insane? Like, let her stay at your house, at your grandma, you know? And they were like, no, because then I have to constantly wear a mask. And I was like, damn, like, when can you ever be yourself? And when in your childhood did you learn that you have to perform for approval? Because that's what they're really doing. They don't think that they're good enough. They don't think that their authentic version will be accepted. So they will do anything so that they are liked. For example, if we look at my ex, the first year that we were together, that person didn't exist. He literally was everything I wanted in a man. Like, he was taking care of me. He was emotionally there for me. He, like, any time he wanted to spend with me, like, really like a love story, beautiful, you know? But then I realized, like, this person just, because he was a fan of my content before, this person just studied me. And he mirrored every single thing that I was. So I fell in love with myself, but that was never him. And so after that, like, I realized when I was 4 months pregnant, I got cheated on. I was shocked because this person was like such a loyal person and never wanted to leave my side and blah, blah. So when I found that out, I have never been so shocked in my life about something. Like, it was a wake up, like, oh my God. And then I just realized, like, this person that I thought that he was never existed. So it was a whole reality collapse for me. And then I have to deal with, like, okay, so who is this person?